All right, EXPs, family, friends, thank you guys all for joining us tonight for this very special edition of Pop-Up Live Discussions. I do these type of discussions from time to time where I do live check-in with EXP. So instead of just seeing the cool photos that you see every Saturday, it's an opportunity for all of us to connect with each other, to check in digitally, and for you guys to get the opportunity to meet some of the EXPs who are posting these awesome photos. Before we get started, first, let us know where you guys are checking in from. If you want to say hi to any of our lovely EXPs tonight, drop your name in the comments, drop your thoughts in the comments. If you missed them, let them know you missed them. And if you have any questions from them, because they're going to be taking questions tonight. As you guys know, with pop-up discussions, we are open, we are honest, we are candid. So they'll be answering questions, but it's up to them if they want to answer them or not. You know, tomorrow's a big day here in America.
Yeah.
But we're not gonna get into that too much tonight. But if my guests want to touch on that or talk about that, they are more than welcome to. All right. So without further ado, we are going to keep it professional, and also we are going to keep the questions within context of the topics and the things that we're going to be talking about tonight. All right. So I'm going to hand it over to my lovely EXPs and take my face off the screen. Mia, if you could start by introducing yourself, your experience in the industry, and then we'll start with Calvin and Raven, and then Jordan and Alex. So we'll finish up.
Hi, I'm Mia. I'm from the New York side of BA World. And I got to say, our market is pretty tough, but it's also very unprofessional. There's a lot that's going on. Very upset about a lot of the pay for some of the jobs, excited for some of the jobs, but then you see the late feedback. Then when you have other opportunities, you can't take it, then you're responded to. And just really looking at the BA world, like, how are we trying to come back doing things that we did previously? And also the biggest thing of all is just feeling like if you're not in a circle or in the know, you can't get the job. And it's very discouraging when if I have a bachelor's and associate and master's, why am I being paid 18, 19, $20 or without travel? And just basically looking ahead, I have my bartender's license and barista, and I'm also taking classes online. Okay, let me be quiet. Next person.
Well, we're Raven and Calvin. I've been doing this since around 2010. What about you?
I've been in experiential marketing for about 7 years now.
You know, that's how we met, of course.
We met on the road.
Been together ever since. So we did a lot of tours together, which is awesome. And yeah, it's been obviously a difficult time this year, but been able to use the education. And Calvin here just got his CDL back in the spring as soon as COVID hit.
So I used some of our downtime since not so many events going on. I went and got my CDL Class A. Basically make myself more available for bigger and better programs. Not a lot of tours were going on right now. So I actually just went ahead and got a truck driving job. So I've been on the road for the last almost 5 months now, doing some heavy hauling and getting some really good experience on the road with a 53-foot trailer and a 22-foot truck. It's massive, but getting that experience is definitely going to help with the experiential marketing career.
100%. Well, how are we doing, folks? I guess you go first.
Well, I'm Alex.
This is Alex.
Jordan. We pretty much have been dating as long as we've been working in the industry together. We met right when I had started doing this full time, and I kind of was like, "Why don't you join me? Like, we'll be able to travel. It'll be cool and amazing." And we've been able to work together ever since. We've done, from small local stuff to moving all the way to Colorado, and then doing all types of different stuff over there. It's been pretty amazing.
Yeah, she pulled me down this road, this journey of marketing, and it sucked me in. And we've had fun with it ever since. Honestly, we took it from working in DC to taking the opportunity to travel around, getting ourselves onto tours and being able to get in the wagon and get around America. So it's been a lot of fun. We've had a lot of opportunities to see, everything out on the road, get to see, everything the United States has to offer. So honestly, this job in this industry has been a blessing for us. Yeah.
And also the cool people we get to meet along the way.
Yeah.
Sure.
So Mia, I'm gonna come back to you in a minute because I want to talk to my couples real quick.
Okay.
And my tour partner, he's out working out, so he can't join me. But my tour teams, my tour couples, what is the hardest thing for you guys to get used to? And if it's not hard, it may not be for you. But what are some of the adjustments, some of the things that you've had to learn as a tour couple on the road?
I would say be together constantly in a really small space. You're gonna be like in a sprinter van or in a larger vehicle, but nonetheless you're gonna be driving, like lodging, everything together the whole time. So if you can't really get along in those confined spaces all the time, it's gonna be pretty difficult.
Yeah,
I guess it'll be with any partner too, you know?
I agree. I think if you've gone through Corona with your partner, it's like a tiny little example of what touring with your partner is like. It's being with each other 24/7. You got to be able to work that dynamic out. It's a whole thing. I don't know about you guys. What do you guys think?
We've always said that if you can vacation with someone, then you can work and tour with someone.
Yeah, 100%.
I feel like vacations are definitely the standard of whether or not a couple can be with someone and handle someone.
Yeah, do a road trip and test it out.
Yeah, solid road trip for sure.
For me,
But honestly, no, go ahead.
For me, it's a lot of self-reflection. I mean, Calvin makes it easy, and I'm not just saying that. He's just chill. And I thought I was laid back, but I realized I'm used to being in control. So actually just listening to him and being accepting of, yeah, he knows more than I do in maybe this area, and allowing myself to do it his way, because sometimes that's the right way. So that's been my personal journey. Is
barely just.
I know. I feel like there's so much give and take. I feel like I give a lot. I don't know, but I think, it's just a lot of give and take. You got to be able to. You got to roll with the punches out there. When you're doing it alone, it's one thing. When you're doing it with your partner, you gotta balance each other out, because one of you could have a really solid day and the other one's kind of down in the dumps. So you gotta pick it up regardless, and work through everything, make sure they're okay. And then, you might have another 14 days left. You might have another 6 months left. Who knows? So you gotta get through it. I think honestly, the best thing we've had to do on the road is just kind of reflect and go to those stops, those milestones around America that you really need to. A lot of people don't get the opportunity to. You're in Arizona, going right there, the Grand Canyon. I know we still got to go back to the Horseshoe Bend.
Yep.
So, but yeah, I mean, things like that, they definitely help when you're out on the road for sure.
And I think it's also important to separate the two. People say that they can do that, but I feel like we've done a really good job with that. If something goes on at work, great to talk about it, make sure we're prepared for the next day, address the situation, but we're not harboring anything. We're not bringing that home. And our home, like you guys, is a hotel, right? So you have to be able to say, this is where we're staying, and that we're separating, and this is you and I now.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
Yeah, I think for me and T, that was the hardest thing, like trying to have date night on the road and we talking about work, like talking about BAs and like getting emails from the account managers. It's like at some point, you got to shut it off, right? And
there's no break
for each other.
A restaurant doing a recap.
Yes. So it's like trying to continue to have that consistency within your relationship and learning how to truly separate like work from personal. Like that is, for us, that's like the toughest challenge.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So let me bring Mia in.
Let's bring it back.
Yeah. So Mia, let everybody know your experience. I don't think you told us how long you've been in the industry, and you had some key talking points and questions and things that you hit on early. And maybe I know some of my EXPs, Raven and myself and Jordan, we can answer some of those questions for you and the things that you and other EXPs may be struggling with.
I started in 2018, so I've been doing it for 2.5 years. Mm-hmm. But I actually was a spokesperson for my college since 2015.
Okay.
And I was an EXP when I went to Japan with my church. Like I represented them for America.
Okay.
So I was on TV and I just was a poster child. But I didn't understand the point of being a brand ambassador until after we left Korea and I came back to America and I was still the spokesperson. Then I really wanted to do it. And I went into it. And one of the biggest jobs I did was with Fortnite. I did the World Championship and the US Open. And that's when I got to see a whole new world because woo child, it was a lot. I actually stepped up and became a leader because one of the girls had to leave. And my team said, you should be a leader more. And I'm like, I have so much respect for you guys as leaders. No. The only way to be a leader is if it's a life or death situation because it's a lot of responsibility. And also, the biggest question I have is I love natural hair and I also wear my weave. Like, for me, I'm ready to quit the industry right now. I've been applying for jobs for almost 6 months and I just really struggle with referral based in applying for jobs. I think I've been rejected from over 150 jobs. I count them. And I get so upset because it's like they don't respond to emails. Nobody texts you. When they text you, it's like an hour or 5 hours before the event. You don't know what's going on. They try to give you the lowest pay, $18 to $20. And I consider $18 to $20 because I'm line directional. I do customer service. I've also been an assistant. I can do multiple things. So my question is, when you see continuous games from agencies, how do you deal with that? And do you cut them off? And how do you let people know about those agencies without being unprofessional? Because one thing is, if you're on the board with me, I'll give information. I don't bash. That's not me. I like to say how it is and break it down, but I don't like to bash. Because some of the agencies, the way that they are, it's like high school. And it's like, I don't know how to do high school. I'm out of high school. Okay. Be quiet.
No, it's hard sometimes. I was gonna say, for me personally, any gig or anything I hear, any opportunity, I'm always sharing it with people that either ask me, people I work with, my friends. And if I've ever had a bad experience or there's an agency I don't have the best relationship with, I'll just tell you my experience and be like, this is what happened to me. I'm not saying it'll be the same for you. You're welcome to make your own opinion about them, but I just want you to go in there knowing this is what they put me through, and these are the reasons why I won't work with them again.
Yeah, for sure. We've definitely had some really tough experiences with agencies before, and as much as you want to go off the panhandle and throw their name in the fire, you just got to hold back a little bit. But honestly, you got to think about it. Your word of mouth is one of the strongest tools that we have, especially in this industry. It's a very small circled industry. So, when you use your voice and, you tell your people in your circle, it goes around and people will start to, learn more about these agencies and they'll be more weary of taking on some of these gigs and these roles that come by. I mean, I know we've definitely, there's agencies out there that we've had to cut off, and it's unfortunate. You wish you could keep working with them. You see, we have friends that still work in those same agencies, but we love them. You gotta cut ties sometimes. It's just like a relationship. There's good ones and there's toxic ones. So you gotta learn that balance, and you just got to keep going through it. I mean, it's just like you get 3,000 no's sampling in one evening. It's the same thing when it comes to these agencies and applying for roles. You might get 8 million no's, but the opportunities and how many more yeses you can attain are definitely there. So you just got to definitely present yourself in the best light.
Mm-hmm. Raven, Calvin, and then I'll bring Cam in after.
Yeah, I don't know. That's a difficult one. I mean, I guess I'm lucky in the sense that now I don't have to deal with that as much on new agencies. So I've kind of created a world now where I just work for, X amount, well, at least before COVID. So I didn't have to deal with anyone new, anyone that's ever done that to me. I kind of just keep it to myself unless someone's asked me about it, and then just not ever work for them again. It really is unfortunate because some agencies have these expectations, but they're not holding themselves to that expectation. But I do the job, I complete it, and just never work for them again. And now I'd say we have like same solid companies that always go out to us. Okay. Once you build that name for yourself, I think they'll always come back.
Yep.
And Cam, thank you for joining us. If you could go ahead and introduce yourself, let everybody know how long you've been working in the industry. And Mia had a great question. She wanted to know, she basically was talking about rejection and dealing with some of the professionalism of some of the agencies. And her question was, how do you deal with that? And how do you press forward and stay positive in the industry in spite all of that?
Absolutely. Well, my name's Cam Jennings. I am an EXP out of Las Vegas. Previously was in Cincinnati the last 2 years, the Denver market before that, and I'm from Casper, Wyoming. I have been working in experiential marketing as we know it, this circle, for about three and a half years now. And then I have been working in trade shows and conventions all my life. I grew up in a trade show called the Energy Exposition. That was the family business. So that's really where I got my feet wet. And then when I was 16, I did a European tour with Army Entertainment. So that really opened up my eyes, and I got a crash course in touring there. I was a professional stand-up comedian for 2 years, and then that moved into stage work, which moved into back-to-back stage work, and that moved into the Sturgis Motorcycle Rally, which led me to this community that I've been part of for a couple years now and value more than anything else in the world. Mia, dude, you are awesome. I follow you closely. The first thing I want to do to get your spirits back up and say, yo, we're in a pandemic and our entire industry is shut down, and you are out there. I see you on Facebook. I see you working. I see you trying harder than anybody right now, and I recognize that. And I just want to say that you inspire me hella in that aspect.
Shout out.
Yes, yeah. So when I saw you were on here, I got really excited. To answer the question about building relationships with agencies, I work. It's just constant. You're like dating your employer. You know what I mean? And it's really hard to get them to keep you around. But there are agencies that I work with closely that I consider family, and then there are just agencies that I don't like at all. And then I have neutral agencies. Okay. You need to let yourself get adopted into those agencies that are families, but don't put yourself on the line for every single agency. Okay. Going forward. There are agencies that are not good agencies, and they're not going to be good to you, and they're not going to be good to anybody. There are other agencies that are wonderful for everybody, and they do not fit with you. What I always say is, everybody tells you not to burn bridges, but if you walk on the bridge and you're going to fall through and drown, light it on fire.
That's true.
So it's really just all about relationships and focusing on the positive ones and keeping the law of averages up. That's how I'd answer that question.
Okay.
Thank you, Cam, for that awesome introduction and for that awesome answer. You said a lot there. Mm-hmm. And I just want to add to that, Mia, as a African-American female in this industry, I've had my fair share of challenges as well with my hair, my natural hair. And I've seen firsthand, not being able to be afforded opportunities for having my natural hair versus changing my hair up and even wearing a weave or just having the preferred look of that client or brand. There are some great agencies like Cam and everybody else has said, and there are some not so great agencies. And oftentimes I find that it's not so much the agency, it's the account managers and the people who are hiring for those positions, because oftentimes they don't have the experience. How many times have we been on tour, guys, and we're dealing with an account manager who has never set up a 10 by 10 tent? but they're
Mhm.
telling you how to do your job. So you have those instances, and you have those people who don't understand logistically the day-to-day challenges that you go through, but you still have to work with them. But keep it professional at the same time. So when it comes to hiring, when it comes to being afforded positions, it takes time. I've had, like Jordan said, 3,000 no's before I've said yes. But when I got my opportunity, I made sure that I made the most of it. I followed up. I thanked
Right.
account managers. I made sure that I left a great impression with that tour manager or whoever was serving as the manager for that program. And I let people know I may not have been your first or your second or your third option, but now you're going to remember me. And I will, have opportunities moving forward. So building those relationships is key, but don't compromise who you are. A lot of my other EXPs would say that here. Don't compromise who you are and what you stand for a job, because the right opportunities, the right agency, and the right account managers are going to value and appreciate what you bring. So just keep going. I know it's tough. And like Cam said, we in a pandemic. I haven't worked an event yet this year. So
Like, who is this woman?
don't feel bad. Like, we all in the same boat. So you just got to stay positive and continue. And I know we're going to get into this in a few minutes, but start looking for other ways in which you can generate income. And that brings me to like Calvin. He went and got his CDL and started, truck driving. So find things that you're passionate about in other ways that you can, occupy your time right now. Because if not, you're going to be mad at every agency who gives you.
I'm working the elections tomorrow.
Oh, Lord. And I know a lot of you have been working the polls, right?
Yes, you have.
How has that been, that experience? From like working with consumers in talking about a product or service to now voting? Like, how is that?
So I've been working in the back end, more like helping the people working the polls. So like offering them snacks, beverages, just courtesy of a brand. So we're not allowed to, say our opinions or even ask or anything. Sometimes they give us updates on how busy it gets. It's been nice to see a lot of young people show up to vote early. We actually voted today ourselves. We're actually in DC right now, so we're right in the center of all the action.
You can feel the energy out here for sure. It's we're high frequency out here, so it's a lot going on.
On both sides for sure.
And Mia, how's that been for you in New York?
I actually had to turn it down. I was asked to work Uber Eats. I was freaking out. I mentioned this on my Facebook, and I couldn't do it because it conflicted with election day. And in case I got asked to work early, I was like, I've been doing this for 6 years. Like, I was a standby relief. Now I can do the machine, which I know by heart. And tomorrow I'm doing line management. And I said that's my favorite because at events, I'm always directional. I'm like, they gave me my favorite line directional. And they're like, it's at 5 a.m. So what? 5 a.m. to 12 midnight, I can do that beyond. So I'm like so excited. I voted. It was like less than 10 minutes. And then tomorrow, it's going to be brutal. But the one thing I love is making sure I encourage people to know, fight for your rights. You can have your opinion. That's your opinion. I don't mind. I respect that. But I'll just make sure you get to vote the way you're supposed to.
All right. So let's shift gears for a minute. I want to talk about how you guys have been able to move into other careers or other fields that you have been passionate about, but because of being an EXP for the past years, you haven't been able to do it. So this year has afforded the opportunity for all of us to take some much needed time to obtain certifications and do things of that sort. But also a lot of us have been dealing with mental health or mental illnesses as well. So I want to talk about that because I know, Raven, you recently received your certification, and I'll let you give us details on that and just why that was important to you. But just speaking from a mental health and wellness standpoint, what have you and any other EXPs, what have you been noticing about yourself during this time?
Well, ironically, I was going to take off when we moved to Arizona this year to settle down. I got an illness myself, physical illness that I was not prepared for. So Calvin said, hey, for the first time in your life, you can settle down a little bit, take a break and do what you need to do. And then this happened. So for me, I was going through the physical challenges as well. And because I've worked since I was 14, it was hard for me to take off and relax and then going through this. But I just looked for everything positive. You know, every year you could always say this and this happened that was bad, but I just continue to focus on anything good, no matter how small it is. So just keep pulling from that every single day, all the little things. And as we went on, I decided to, I wasn't very big before, but to get healthy and lose weight, I lost 30 pounds. So for me, I was able to go and every day do little things like exercise, feel better and was more motivated, and just the positivity kept helping me continue on. I mean, I was a little down, which is very rare for me. For those of you that don't know me, I'm constantly doing a musical in Lowe's or on the road. I am constantly happy. Aww. It was really hard, but just looking for those positive affirmations. And then I also got rid of anything, any negative pages or anything on social media that maybe would have brought me down or changed my mindset. And I started following pages where people actually had real physical elements and that had it way worse than I could ever have. And then their positivity just motivated me more. So I switched that gear and only followed people that really had obstacles to go through. And then I thought, man, if they could do it and I'm only like right here, then I can do it. So just everything in my life, I changed it to follow people that overcame, were more successful, that were more hardworking than me, had more intelligent things to say than I did. And that's what I focused on.
Cam, this was a topic that you reached out to me and you wanted to discuss a couple of weeks ago. So why did you feel compelled with regards to mental illness and mental health? Why is that important to you?
Well, I had a friend and she was my best friend, one of my best friends. I have two. And she killed herself in 2017 and she worked as a BA. And I didn't know the struggles that she had in that way, or that they were that significant. It was normal in my mind, things that people talk about, guy problems or whatever, that you're like, oh yeah, we all have that. But for her, it was a lot more to take on. And the week after I said, you know, life's really short. I've always wanted to get my master's degree. And so I decided to do it in psychology to maybe be more of an influence to people and be able to recognize the things that people are going through. So I got my psychology degree and I got a minor in life coaching and I absolutely loved it. I honestly, I did the degree because it was a little shorter and easier in my mind. Mm-hmm. And it set like this tone of everything I wanted to do with my life. So after that, I went and got another cert and another cert. So my primary focus is relationship coaching, because it doesn't always have to mean couples, right? Relationships are mother and daughter. They're with your neighbors. They're with people to store. Every interaction we have could build ultimately the relationships that we have. So that's been my primary thing. And I think it's really helped us even grow as a couple.
And since then, she's even got her first client too, and has actually been coaching someone.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. I know. I mean, the subject of mental health is huge. We're very open with all that stuff. Mental health is huge. Spiritual health is another thing. You have to make sure that you're in tune. You know, we're both originally from DC. She's from Peru, but she moved to DC, and I'm born and raised around the DMV. In DC. And then, you know, after doing it for, 28, 29 some odd years, some crazy amount of time, it gets to you, the energies and everything like that. And then and you dump work in that. Yeah.
Like the concrete jungle of the city.
Concrete jungle.
Sometimes, take a toll. So we moved to Colorado to be closer to the mountains and, just
help us with the journey, because being on the road is difficult, and then when you come back home and home just isn't home anymore, you got to find somewhere to place your spirit. So it was huge for us to get out there, and ever since we got out there, I mean, it opened us up to finding people to talk to, finding forums to help us through situations in our life. Like I have a 10-year-old son. So we're in a blended family here. I'm half African American. I'm half Peruvian. She's Peruvian, and it's a whole thing getting all these families adjusted and getting everyone coordinated. Then being on the road and managing all types of people calling out for no reason, you know. But it's one of those things where, you know,
the pandemic has helped spend time with family also. So
yeah,
it's been nice to have so much time off. So many, like, you know, moments and memories that we would usually miss, we're able to share with our family now. He's been here in DC since the end of August, so he's been able to see like his son and his side of the family a lot more. I come to visit a lot, so I see my family a lot, and it's been nice to just be around everyone. I've been, you know, not traveling, but mostly just either quarantining by myself or coming out to see him or see other family members that usually I wouldn't see so frequently. And now I've been seeing, you know, every like month or so. So it's been nice to have family around, to be able to connect with them again, to be, you know, be home as opposed to being on the road. Or whenever they ask, hey, do you think you can come do this or come to have dinner? I'm like, I can actually say yes, you know, I'm not working or in another state or somewhere random. So that has helped me a lot to be able to connect with my family and spend time with them, even to just have the time to make a phone call and be on the phone for like an hour to talk to someone, which, you know, usually it's like, can I just text you because I have so many things to do.
Cam?
Oh boy. Mental health. It's no secret that I've been struggling with that a lot this year. Over the last couple months, I've had to completely reorganize my life, see a therapist, change my diet, start meal planning, routining. That was one thing that I didn't realize that the industry was doing for me, is it was giving me a routine. It was giving me a purpose every single day. So when that was taken away, I felt hard. You know, it's I've been dealing with very, very, very legitimate depression this year, and it's been a very, very, very scary ride, because you know, when we're talking about mental health, right when COVID hit, I moved to Vegas. I had lived here for 3 months. You know, I went from being the experiential king of Cincinnati to having to prove myself in Vegas all over again, and it was not an easy task, but I was doing it. And then COVID hit, and it all felt like it was for nothing. And right now, I think that there are a lot of EXPs that have made changes in their lives previously, that have gone the extra mile, and that's why they're successful in this industry. And you know, for me, and I know a lot of us, sobriety, getting sober was a huge milestone for a lot of us. Staying sober, especially through this, which I have done, and I hope that everybody else has too. But you know, we've done a lot, and I've never met an industry or a group of people that have had similar experiences like the way we have, where most of us have a story where we have conquered something, and now we are EXPs, and this is how our life is turned around, and how our life is good and prosperous and everything like that. And just to have the rug ripped out from under us the way it was, I know, and I know that Jay knows, and I know that Mia knows, and I know that anybody that's close to me knows that, you know, it's just been so, you don't know how to look at yourself in the mirror, because you feel like you failed, but you don't know what you did because you didn't do anything, because there's a pandemic. So being able to reorganize your thoughts, me being able to reorganize my thoughts in my entire life, you know, these last 6 months has been the biggest struggle for me, and everything that we've had to, you know, learn to handle. So,
Raven, what would you say to that? Being that you are licensed in this field, in this area of expertise, what is your advice for EXPs who are struggling with mental illness, or just dealing with the depression, the things that this pandemic has brought for them, you know, as EXPs in this industry?
First, communicate with whoever you can. You know, some people are introverts, so write a journal, film yourself, whatever you need to do to get to get the emotions out. Hopefully, everybody has somebody to talk to. If you don't, I will always be here for you. Raven Bordeaux on Facebook. But also, you have to remember, at any job, this becomes jobs, especially as Americans, it's who we identify as. And I was a police officer, and Jay knows this, many, many moons ago. And I had to learn that that's what I did. It's not who I was. You know, Mia, you're a lot of things, you know, and just even talking to you, you're a wonderful individual, and Cam too. And you know, you bring a lot of things. So really try to focus on all the things that make you who you are outside of a job, because one day you're going to retire too, or you're going to be just with your spouse, and then you're going to be kind of lost in that sense too. So always have a lot of self-reflection, what makes you happy, your goals. You know, it's such a cheesy question, but I always ask people this. If you won the lottery, what would you do? Right? So silly, right? If you could do any job, you won the lottery and money didn't matter, what would you do? And I always find it fascinating to hear people's real goals and dreams. And then I'm like, okay, now that we have that, then what's stopping you from doing that? Because I can guarantee you it's not the lottery. There's always tons of ways that you can get the money or get grant, whatever it is, there's always a way to do that. So just finding really what your goals and dreams are. And if it's this industry, you know, great, try to figure out how to maybe branch off. You know, Mia said you had a bartender license, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know, just start focusing on other things and then kind of try to figure out who we are.
Mm-hmm. That's great advice, Raven. Thank you for sharing. And thank you, Cam, for being honest. And for sharing, and even Jordan and Alex, thank you guys for sharing your experiences, because a lot of times we don't talk about, you know, our struggles from a internal standpoint. We, you know, are conditioned as EXPs to go to an event and make sure consumers are having a good time. But oftentimes when we leave there, we have our own problems and our own things, you know, that we are struggling with personally as well. So,
I think it was a shock to everybody because we show up and we're smiley with each other too and everything like that. And then, you know, 2020, we really got to look next to us and see our peers are not that much different from us, and we're all showing up and we're faking it, and we all have stuff on the inside that we need to deal with. So that's at least my silver lining for 2020 is I've always felt like I show up in the industry and I'm putting on a mask. And I felt alone in that, and I think that we all did. And I really think that one coming together subjects, you know, should really be that we've all kind of got to see each other's true colors, and I think they were all better than we all expected them to be. I know that's been my story for sure. Is, you know, usually when times get tough, the you know, the circle stopped loving, and this circle never stopped loving. You know, it was. I didn't see, you know, very much. Nobody's putting each other down, you know, in the experiential marketing industry. And let's face it, we're not an industry right now. We are a community. We have displayed the best sense of community that I've ever experienced in my life. You know what I mean? So I just appreciate, and I appreciate all you guys and everybody watching, the vulnerability that, you know, showing your weakness, because it showed me that, you know, I can be weak. And you guys can be weak, and we can all be strong together once we get that out. You know what I mean? So,
so I'm gonna go around the room and ask everybody. And I'm asking this question too. What have you learned about yourself this year?
I'm stronger than what I think I am.
Okay.
That's what I say.
All right. For myself, I've taken this year to reset. I've deemed it the year of reset, just resetting in all areas of my life, not only professional, but just as a person. And I've learned how to say no to people, because I have a tough time of always trying to please everybody and make sure everybody's happy. And sometimes that could be to my detriment, because I put myself as not a priority. And then a few hours later, I'm like tired as hell, or should have ate when I should have, but because I put other things or other people off and not prioritize myself, in a lot of ways, it hurt me instead of help. So for me, I have learned the power of saying no, but a healthy no, I'll get back to you, or no, when I have an opportunity. So taking that time for myself every day has been important. Meditation has been like the bomb.com. If you guys don't, I'm not gonna encourage it for everybody, but that is one way that I stay in tune and I connect with myself daily, to just make sure that I'm taking that time for myself, because with everything that we have going on right now, you know, we can neglect ourselves and get lost in the chaos of society.
100%. I to jump on that, I can definitely feel you on that aspect, like meditation, just keeping keeping yourself centered, especially working in this industry. For some of us that are still out there, I've never seen human beings act more like human beings than like most recently. Like ever since the pandemic hit, like actually seeing humans be humans. And sometimes it's good and sometimes it's really bad, but and then they're just some people are just on the fringe in between, and it's just you gotta run through it. And it's a lot to take on because you're still there, you're still back and forth, you're transferring energies with these people, and you still got to get through the rest of the day. So it's a lot you got to really focus in on and make sure that at the end of the night you're even keel. However you get even keel, please do. I hope it's in a positive way, and whatever it is, it helps you, because if you're still out there and you're still working through it, it can get difficult. So
I think, like Cam said, there's a lot of really good people, and sometimes we're all so alike and we don't realize it because we don't open up about it. And working in this industry, I've met some amazing people, some people that have showed me support more than old friends that I have, people that will share things that I believe in or things that I post. And that's, very important to just support each other. If you're starting a new small business or if you're struggling with something and I see that, why not be there for you? So we've had the opportunity to meet people that have been there for like us individually or just together as a couple. And it's great to relate with people like that. I think this time has also shown us, even as a couple, that we're so strong individually. We've had to make changes to be able to like stay afloat, like him taking a contract in the East Coast while I'm still working other stuff. And, I'm in Colorado by myself most of the time, especially during winter months. So it's been tough, but it's also been nice to see that we can, adjust and be strong through it together and individually, and be independent, although we've been together for so many years.
We repeat the question.
Someone check in, please.
I think Raven and Calvin's going to answer, but the question I asked was, what have you learned about yourself this year? So you'll be last. You're going to give us the final answer on this, Cam. But go ahead, Calvin and Raven.
I've actually learned to reach out to people more. Like, I'm very social, but him and I being together for the last 5 years, every day, all day, I don't really make a lot of connections. They're all just at work or not real heart-to-heart conversations as much because we get into our own bubble. And really, I went through the pandemic, and I wouldn't say every week, but every week, every couple weeks, I made a list of 2-3 people to contact. Wouldn't stalk them or anything like that, but reach out to people I haven't talked to in a while and really just see how they're doing, and that kind of took away from me, again, my physical elements and my pain and stuff, to help somebody else and reach out to people and build those relationships, because often in life we get in our own little world and this is what I'm dealing with. Yeah, I'll catch up with you next time. Yeah, you want to do dinner? Can't next week. And then all of a sudden years have gone by. And so I just made sure I do a family member, an EXP, a friend I haven't talked to in a while, a neighbor, and just make it consistent and reach out to them. And how excited they were that people were contacting them. It just built this really flow of my time and feeling good and more motivated. And of course, again, I started eating better, like Cam was talking. You change your diet, you're taking those vitamins and you're exercising. It's amazing what kind of energy and what it does for your mind. It's really made a huge difference for me.
For me, it has to be checking in with family members. I used to not be the best at that. I miss calls from parents and stuff, being on the road and everything. And this has really opened my eyes up to wanting to spend more time with family and just me reaching out more to my family members. Last few months, I've caught myself. I'm calling both of my brothers. They're younger and they've been in the experiential marketing industry as well. I catch myself calling them at least a couple times a week now since the pandemic. And I just love hearing from them because our family, we're all spread out. My brother's in Texas. My middle brother, my youngest brother is in Michigan. My parents are in California. So meeting up all together hasn't happened in a while. So at least just reaching out, using the technology that we have right in front of us, FaceTime, Zoom calls, family meetings in that way has what I've loved the most, learning about myself.
we're jumping on 2-way calls, 4-way calls now. If I call, he's, hey, I'm talking to my brother. Let's put you in. So it's been fun.
All right, and Cam, what have you learned?
I've learned that even too much of a good thing can be a bad thing. To really find balance there, especially even before COVID hit, and I just moved to Vegas. Dedication, drive, loyalty, all of these things are very important qualities to have. You can overdo them, and it's really hard to say that too, because in my heart, and I know in a lot of other people's hearts, we get on a track where we're like, okay, this is for the greater good, or this is for positivity, or this is to help somebody, something, somewhere. And you can really end up hurting the things that you're trying to help by not thinking clearly and getting too passionate about them, getting too loyal to them, getting too much drive on them. And that's the thing I'm working through right now, and that I've learned about myself, which is okay, because in the past I've had to learn how to have that loyalty and to have that drive and to have that passion. So the next step in my journey is being able to dial that back into a professional level. And a level that is, because the other thing where you said you have to learn how to say no, that is also setting boundaries to protect myself. Because I will put my all, I will put my everything into a project, into an activation that in reality is important, but it's not life or death like I'm making it in my head. So that's really where I'm what I'm learning about myself, is that I need to try to find balance, and I'm finding that balance, and it feels good. So.
And yeah, someone just commented, Trey said balance is key. And I think oftentimes, especially
Trey's awesome. I love Trey.
When we were EXPs, we would put our all into a project or to a tour or to ensuring the success of a program, and we would neglect family or our health, for the sake of making sure we were able to complete a program. And now that we've had this time in 2020, it's made a lot of us, I can say for myself, like reflect and make sure that I'm taking the necessary time, for myself daily, because a lot of that gets lost at the wayside, or even projects or even businesses. We probably wouldn't have even, Raven, you probably wouldn't have taken the time to finish your master's if you were on a tour. So a lot of those things, everything happens for a reason. So which brings me to my last question I have for you guys. What are your thoughts on 2021 with regards to the industry? Are you looking to come back? Ms. Mia, we already kind of know where you at, but hopefully you'll come back and stay with us. But, what are your thoughts, on the experiential marketing industry moving forward? Are you looking to continue to work in the industry? Are you thinking about leaving? Are you hopeful? What are you guys, how are you feeling? What are your thoughts?
It's 50-50. Because for me, I started going to the gym, and I've been training there, and I see some of what they're all saying. Like, basically, you have to dedicate yourself. And I'm also like mingling with influencers for beauty and makeup, skin and clothing, and just seeing there's a whole other world out there, because I'm actually a singer actress. So I came into BA to learn how to become a commercial model, and my friends are helping me now. And I see it's tough. But the thing is, the way I'm handling the rejections from the agencies, I know I can go do my auditions better. So for me, I feel like we're going to rebound. And the one thing I got to say is, have amazing people like this in the industry is why we're going to rebound, and people like you. Because what looks tough is easy when you have amazing people around you that keep building something that's falling apart, and you bring it back together.
That deserves a virtual fist bump. There we go.
Who wants to tackle that question next? It's the tough one.
I mean,
I can.
I totally.
Go ahead.
I totally. Okay, go ahead.
So I've been married. I've been very wary about going into to 2021. There's still a lot going on in this world, and we all need to have our feet planted right now. A big issue that we're going to see is that our needs are going up and the rates are going down. We do need to recognize the fact that we've kind of had a well-kept secret with our industry, because I know the one thing we all have in common is once we found the industry, life changed. But you had to know somebody back in the day. And right now, after the pandemic, the gig economy is such a hot topic. We don't have that secret anymore. So the supply of people is about to shoot through the roof, and the demand for us is about to go way down. So when it comes to doing this as a career, I do tell everybody to walk with caution, because 2021, COVID is not going to disappear after the election. The need for social justice is not going to disappear after the election. Not having accessible healthcare is not going to disappear after the election. So we still have to move forward. We still have to be strong, and we still have to use the thick skin that we have been given throughout the last year. Now, when it comes to my personal plan, I thought I was out. I thought I was never coming back. I thought that this was done, and that everybody was going to hate me because I couldn't find work, and I was really in my head, and I was spiraling, and I was my own worst enemy. Today, and I'm going to start crying because I'm so happy about it. Today, I started my first day as a production manager for EventNet USA.
Congratulations!
It's a salaried position. It's one of my first. It's my first real salaried position like this for the contract that it is. It's a job that really gives me a sense of dignity. It's a job that I want. It's a job that needs me. It's a job that I need. It's a cookie cutter fit, and I couldn't be happier. So, my real advice to because we're all OGs now. You know what I mean? If you were here pre-COVID, you're an OG now. And with my advice to you guys, if you are going to stay in the industry, now is the time to make that next step in your career. If you see an account manager job and you know that you could do that account manager job better than the chick that has never set up a 10 by 10 tent before and is telling you what to do and micromanaging you the wrong way, you go apply for that job. I started an agency. I have my business license and everything like that now for Las Vegas and for hand-to-hand distribution on the Strip and everything like that. You can start your own agency and have one client. You can start your own agency and have two clients. You just need to LLC yourself, and you need to get that legitimacy, and then just go. You don't have to be full-time. You're not any lesser than anybody if you are not full-time. There are agency owners out there that do work other jobs. Christy Bannerith, I've never known how to say her last name. Mm-hmm. She, owns her own agency. Everybody knows that she does a lot of the staffing for Pennzoil and a lot of the racing stuff, but she still works as a BA all the time. You know what I mean? So be comfortable stepping into that next role while staying in this role. Be comfortable going and trying to get some of your own clients while still working as a BA. Know where the line is. Don't go poaching clients, but go find your own. Go do it. Like there's nothing stopping you. So that's what I've done, and I hope that everybody else watching this that's been dealing with mental health, that's been struggling in the industry, that's what you do too. Don't go back to your last position. When you get back into the industry, don't accept less than what you're worth, and go find yourself a position that you deserve. Because there's going to be a lot of BAs, and you don't want a lot of new BAs, and this community is about to get flooded, and this industry is about to get flooded, and I don't want to see anybody get washed away and drown. So you have to advance yourselves now. Yeah. Tour manager, account manager, whatever your next step that you've seen is, force the issue, take that step.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I totally agree. I love jumping off your energy. Yeah. It's great to hear people, be so positive and encouraging, to boost others to exactly like you said, look for the next level up. Personally, that's kind of what we've been doing. We've taken the time to, like Cam said, develop our own LLC that we've had for a little bit, that we haven't actually had the time to put as much work in. We've bought a lot of photography equipment and started taking classes. We are looking to have a lifestyle brand that we can, take to the next level. And definitely still, you know, I believe marketing is not going to go anywhere. Marketing brings people together, and brands have to bring people together to let them know about their product. So there's always going to be marketing. It's just going to be, you're going to have to tweak it, and it's going to have to be different and adjusted to new protocols. But marketing itself is not going to go anywhere, you know, and virtual marketing, kind of like what we're doing right now, networking like this is kind of the next things that we need to start getting used to. So it's something that we both are like working on to, like I said, take classes and learn a little bit more so that we can definitely come on strong once our brand is a little more prepared.
Yeah. So where it's Ursus and Hair Promotions Incorporated. We started it last year. We really got it going a little bit. It's been a project for us for a while now, and we started slowly but surely getting everything going, and then the pandemic was a blessing in disguise. We were able to use a bunch of grants, apply for a bunch of grants, and then thank you, Jamila, you were posting grants left and right. And then, you know, we were able to get EDO loan, and really helped us start to get our company going. So like she said, we adapted. We're still doing marketing, promotions. It's in our bones, I think, at this point.
Just more for ourselves now than for other brands, you know?
Exactly. So it's all about, we're really
it's about not being a 9-to-5.
Right. You don't want that 9 to 5, and
yeah.
you don't need that. And, so right now we're just going through everything. We're, you know, helping communities and small businesses adapt in this time. And I think it's going to be really huge. I know we can't wait to really get everything out there. But for 2021, no one be afraid, you know, just everyone, let's go into 2021, chest up, head up, and just get through it. I mean, that's the only, and if 2020 hasn't taught you anything, it's just to pick your head up and just keep trucking, and, you know, keep working on yourself, keep focused on your projects, keep consistent to whatever makes you happy and keeps you passionate, and, you know, just keep running. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Congratulations on the business for you guys, and congratulations on the new job. It's exciting. Yeah, so when all this was kicking off for us, we were in the middle of getting a house, so we signed to buy a brand new home like a week before the economy shut down. And yay. But it was pretty stressful because now I was looking for a big girl job, and I was like, okay, I'm a vet, I have a master's degree. How hard can this be? Over 350 applications. And so kind of getting frustrated there, but I got a really good job. I was able to take my law enforcement, public safety experience with some of my psych stuff and my marketing, and I found a really good job where I'm selling for a company. It's work from home. It's everything that I want it to be right now. So that was a really blessing for us. And just to piggyback on some of the stuff you guys said, with do your dreams, you know, I'm such an advocate of speaking it, but I don't usually do it. Like, I can tell someone else, but I haven't done that. You got to remember, somebody out there made millions of dollars on a poodle noodle. You know what I mean? Or a pool noodle. You know what I mean? You think about everything that's created, people are making money off of. My daughter's always showing me videos or people watching people that are playing games. I mean, there's tons of things that need to be invented, tons of things that people need. You just have to believe in yourself and do it. You have nothing to lose, you know? So doing that on the side, I'm doing my course coaching thing, and I really want to do a lot more with the relationship coaching. It's really important to me. So that's my side hustle right now.
Nice.
As far as for me in the EXP world, I might slow it down a little bit for 2021. I'm probably not going to take any long tours or anything like that, since I don't want to be away from my wife for too much longer. And I've done the programs. I've toured without her, and honestly, it's pretty miserable. I know. I love her so much. So I'm gonna still work in the Valley, or maybe a week or two, you know, gigs like that next year. But I'm settling down, and I finally get to pursue one of my dreams now. Because of being on the road, living in hotels, I've never been able to practice this or wake up and do it every single day. a passion of mine is day trading. I've always been interested in it. My dad's a professional day trader. I know people who do it and do it well, and that's something I finally get to settle down, have my own office, wake up every morning, and pursue something like that. So that's what I'm going for 2021. But still going to take weekend gig jobs in the Valley for sure in Phoenix.
One more thing, definitely have healthy boundaries. I'm a firm believer in that, but also try to tell yourself too, you just kind of got to go with your gut on this. Not every job, but sometimes I've taken the low paying jobs, and every one of those low paying jobs that I took for one day that I didn't want to do led to something bigger. That's how I got all the tours that I ever got. It was a day job, passing out popsicles that nobody wanted to do. I didn't want to do that either. I feel like I've accomplished more in life than handing out popsicles, but I did it. I put a smile on, and that always led to something else. So have the balance. But if you're not working and you see a low-paying job and you got that gut feeling, you've heard good things about the company, I say go for it.
Something's better than nothing if you're not doing anything, You
never know who you're going to meet. I've met Jay on a tour, right? Yeah. So read Jay's book, because that's going to help you.
Yeah, anyone out there, read Jay's book. That will definitely give you a shoe into the industry. You're going to skip so much learning curves just by reading her book. What do you guys think? Shave off a year or something at least worth of tour insides and whatnot.
Jitters, it'll take the jitters off.
Sounds like I need to read the book.
Amazing. We tell everybody.
Yeah, we tell everybody, because everyone's always asking us, "You do what?" And then we're like, "Here, read this book."
Yes, I totally relate to every single one of those posts. Explaining it to our family, it's like, so we still don't know what you guys do, but I guess you guys are okay.
Well, what I realized,
I like the mystery.
Half my job resumes, and every time I'd interview, I'd talk to a mentor. I'm talking about educated people with their doctoral degrees as my mentor, and I'm reaching out to them through a vet program, and I'm like, they still were like, "Oh, what is it?" Just couldn't wrap their head around it. I was having a really difficult time building my resume off of it, so that was a big obstacle too. But you could do it.
Thank you guys all for joining me tonight. This has been one of the best interviews I've done to date. And I say that because you guys have been so honest, so transparent, and so just true to who you are. And that is the reason and the motivation for me doing everything I've done, from starting a group to writing a book. I've always wanted to and ensured that whatever I put out there was something that was going to be a resource to help people, but more importantly, to give the EXPs, the people in the field, a platform, a chance to tell their stories, because you never hear our stories. So thank you guys for being so honest. Thank you for being candid. I am hopeful that 2021 will be better for our industry as a whole. But like I always say, you got to have a plan B, C, D, and E. And all of you, and E. And all of you, through everything that 2020 has brought us. If not even an EXP, if anybody watching this video can't get motivated from what all of you shared tonight and your stories, then I don't know. I mean, because Cam, for you to stay positive and to have a job now and an opportunity, something that you're going to love to do, you stayed fast, and it shows that at the end of the day, what's for you is for you. And even though you may have been battling those things, nobody left you and nobody forsaked you. And this industry will still here for you. And there are
so crazy.
And good people out there for you. So there's motivation that EXPs, no matter what's going on, Cam is a living testament. If you stay fast, it's going to happen for you. Alex and Jordan, starting your own business. Y'all dropped the LLC last year to do tours, but y'all picked it back up. And look, you got loans, you got grants, you got opportunities, a chance to start your own business. So if the industry doesn't come back, y'all know how to pivot. And reach out to me about that LLC, because I can help you guys. If you decide to go on tour, I'm going to show you how to make that work for you as tour managers. I got you there. Cam and Calvin and Raven, we talked last year, Calvin, and what did I say? Get that CDL, and you got it, and you making it work for you. Who would have known a conversation we had a year ago would turn into you being able to still work during a pandemic. And honestly, with the way things are looking, you probably have opportunity now to make more money if the government shuts down again. So and Mia, in spite of everything, you still here, you still applying, you showing everybody that being an African American female with natural hair, you're not gonna let an industry dictate how you obtain opportunities and how you're able to continue to transition through everything. You stand fast. I know you said you want to leave, but just continue. Like everybody said tonight, we all going through it, and it's gonna get. I hope it don't get any worse before it gets better, but it's gonna get better for you and for all of us. But the one thing, and I was taking notes as all of you guys were talking, because I listen and I observe. I want to encourage everybody, figure out your plan as an EXP and even outside of this industry. Know your worth as a person. All of you talked about that in some way, shape, or form, whether it was Raven through life coaching or Cam or even Jordan and Alex, knowing your worth and starting your own business, LLC, CDLA license. But more importantly, we are all brands. Like, even though we represent different brands and we work for different agencies, we are all brands because we're all people. So it's up to us to create our own brands and represent ourselves as brands in the best way we see fit. So I want to thank all of you tonight. You guys are my motivation. You're the reason why I do what I do.
Yeah, thank you for the platform to connect.
Thank you.
Yeah,
And I'm so proud of all of you guys for working in the industry and staying so positive. If you guys ever need anything, you can reach out to us.
Always reach out. Now we got more friends. I always love more friends.
And before let me read some comments from EXPs.
Hey, can I say something real quick though? Because you made me cry and I couldn't respond. Thank you for not giving up on me, Jay. And when I say thank you, I'm talking to you. I'm talking to Brian Fox. I'm talking to Miles Bell Brown. I'm talking to Assist, to Victory, to everybody. Thank you. I would not still be here if it was not for this community. You guys did save my life this year. Absolutely 100%. I owe you guys. I owe this industry. I owe you guys. And Jay, you and Brian Fox specifically. Oh my God, I have lost my mind on both of you. And neither one of you have made any notion that I'm not part of the family anymore or anything like that. So thank you. Thank you to the industry. Thank you to youth. I'm so happy to have this sense of community. I've been looking for it my entire life, and it's here. And I thought I lost it for a second, but obviously I'm right here. So thank you. And personally, Jay, thank you, dude. And Mia, you aren't quitting, yo. And I don't know what the nomination process for EXP of the month is, Jay, but I want to throw her name in the hat because this girl has been an inspiration to me, sitting here and she's applying and talking. It's like, how is she doing it? Like, not only do I think you should be EXP of the month, I am very impressed that you are currently one of the few EXPs actively in existence. And especially in New York. Yeah, you don't quit, girl. We need you. We need you. Okay, we got this.
We got
all right.
Whew.
Before we go, let me just read some comments from EXPs. Amara said this was a great interview and it's just awesome to hear all of your stories. Trey said balance is key. John Lacone, we are resilient individuals, Cam. It takes a special type of person to operate in this industry. We will overcome the battles.
John Lacombe, I'm sorry, he's somebody that belongs on that list of people to thank. And Ray Carwell and Jessica Patterson and Christina Page and everybody that has sent me money without me asking for it. And everybody that sent me money when I did ask for it to save my dog's life, who's doing well, by the way. It's just, this is the craziest positivity in a group I have ever felt. And if you keep giving me the opportunity to talk about it, I'm not going to shut up about it. So.
Big love. We got big love.
Big love, bro.
And who was it? Jessica said, this is a great interview. Thank you guys all for joining and for being transparent and sharing your stories. So I got that a couple times tonight. So again, thank you guys all. I can't say it enough. You motivate me to continue to do what I do. And I just wish you all well going into the holiday season. And as always, if you need anything from me, I am here. I'm your resource. So please reach out and reach out to all these other EXPs here as well. Raven has a wealth of knowledge and mental health illness. So if any of my EXPs are struggling, please, I'm going to drop everybody's Facebook. If you guys could just tag yourself in this video so that other EXPs could reach out to you if they have questions. Okay.
Cool.
I'm gonna let you guys know.
Thank you. Love you all.
All y'all. Love y'all. Big love, everyone.
Have a great night, everyone.
And vote. Everyone, if you have not voted, vote. That's all I gotta
I'll be
say.
working. I voted.
All right. Y'all take care.